Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm your host, Jericho, along with my co-host, X and Santana, and we're on episode 10 of the Raw Report. That's right, 10 episodes deep. We started this in July, and now we're here. We're going to do a week one recap. There's a lot of activity going on, and we know we got a lot to talk about on the show. The results of week one, the picks that we got, and week two picks. So, we got a lot to cover. The first thing we need to cover, guys, without any further ado, the most scandalous news already. It is over before it begun. The Cowboys are out of the contention. Dak has a broken thumb and will be out several weeks. All right. It is the most exciting thing in the NFC East going on, especially for yours truly. I'm over here, my Eagles fanatics. Shout outs to the Giants. Shout outs to the Dolphins. All
I'm
right.
at,
Want to know?
make some noise if you're 1-0. Let's go.
It's the 1-0 gang. So Dak gets injured on the first game of the season. He has a broken thumb and he needs immediate surgery. They're saying he's going to be out maybe 4 to 8 weeks, and he's going to miss a significant amount of time. And now they're going to have to rely on the back of Cooper Rush. Should they go ahead and sign another QB?
Personally, I don't think they should do anything. They should just tank. I mean, at this point, I'm not sure if Jerry Jones is going to want to rush Dak back in there if they're 0-6 or 0-7 in a few weeks, and Dak comes back healthy and they're already out of the playoff contention. It's what it seems like that's brewing out there in Dallas. So I think Jerry Jones, he's going to want to move on. He's probably going to want to go young and stop committing so much money to a quarterback where he can't rely on it, and it's hurting the rest of the team. So I think they're gonna I think they might move into a different direction going next year, and I think they might separate themselves from Dak. Honestly,
What you said makes sense, but in Jerryland, nothing makes sense. So I expect Jerry Jones to do something that none of us expect. I officially put Dak on the hot seat. The Dak era may be over in Dallas
right?
sooner rather than later. And Jones is an impatient man. And when you're the GM, the president, the vice president, the head, second head coach of your own franchise, where you feel goes, and I don't know. He says that there's like no QB market that they're interested in. They're gonna like wait for Dak to come back. I don't know how that's gonna work out for them. It's over there.
Yeah, I personally think it's over for Dak. He's on a hot seat, and I can't agree with you there, Bones, because I really think Jerry Jones, with the amount of money that he's paying Dak, he wants him back on the field, most Ricky Tink. But the one thing that most people don't know about thumb injuries is that it compromises your grip. So it can get to the point where Dak can't even turn a doorknob. He can't hold the cup. You know what I mean? So let alone a big old football, the pigskin, you know what I mean? You have to have a hell of a grip on the ball. So I don't personally believe he's going to get back to 100% this season, but I do believe Jerry Jones is going to rush him out there just because of the massive amount of money that he's already getting paid. And Jerry Jones is just going to want his money. He's going to want his cut. I don't believe that the Cowboys are going to go out and sign another QB. They're going to probably stick with Cooper Rush, but I don't see why they shouldn't go after Cam Newton. Cam Newton is just sitting at the house. He's a 10, 11-year vet. He can play a backup role. He can possibly come in and win a couple games for the Cowboys. So I do think that they should go after Cam Newton, but I don't think that is going to happen. They're going to save their payroll. They're going to rush the hell out of Dak, and Dak is probably going to get injured again, or they're going to be looking to trade him sometime next year, maybe in the offseason. But I don't see Dak and Dallas Cowboys are not going to do good, man. And by the time they get back, back to Dak being the starting quarterback, it might be week 9, maybe week 10. And who knows how that's going to go. Like I said, thumb injuries are very difficult to handle, and you don't recuperate the same from that. It takes even up to a year to recover from some of those thumb injuries. So, and speaking of more injuries, Eli Mitchell is also out in San Francisco. He suffered an MCL sprain, and up to this point, they don't believe that he's going to need some surgery. So that's good. But given the fact that it's an MCL sprain, he's going to be out for a significant amount of time. I'm hearing 7 to 8 weeks, guys.
Now, for our viewers, the reason why our host Jericho sounds so concerned is because this man drafted Mitchell and is now
Listen,
suffering.
Yeah, he sounds hurt. He sounds. I
He
know.
sounds hurt. You heard?
Yeah.
According to reports.
No, I know Eli Mitchell is a great young running back, and we want him to get back into full strength. But that's first and foremost. But a lot of fantasy owners went high on him this year. Jerry's not alone in that. He was a great pick. He was actually on my radar as well. I had him last year as a rookie. He was putting up some good stats. I think he had 1,200 all-purpose yards. So now with that MCL sprain, it's going to slow him down a bit. But I don't think he's going to end his year. He'll be back. It just depends on what that team is doing. It's not going to be the same team we're used to. Defensive wise, they're going to be a different team. I don't see the Niners being the same thing. They lost to the Bears week 1. That was kind of a shocker. So I think
Yup.
Eli Mitchell is going to be. It's going to be. They're going to feel it. They're going to feel that one.
Who are they going to turn to?
I have no clue who their backup is, brother. You got me.
Who are they going to turn to? They're going to turn Brandon Ayuk and Debo Samuel into co-running backs slash receivers.
I
That's what's going
believe
to
is
happen.
this guy. I believe is this guy called Wilson. What's this guy's name? Jeff Wilson Jr. He's gonna be the new starting running back over there and the San Francisco. And shoot, he's looking to be a great standout quarterback, running back, especially for the
Waiver
time
wire.
that Eli's gonna be out.
Right. I mean, they
Waiver
might as
wire
well.
Jeff
alert.
Wilson is gonna take over all the touches.
Yeah, they might as well sign Frank Gore at this point. I don't even know what to tell you.
Oh, that's like one of the top waiver wire alerts right there. Then
Jeff Wilson.
Top
if you
waiver wire alert, and you bet that I picked him up in the fantasy league. I did draft him in the fantasy draft this last weekend in the polo league, high roller league. And
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that one hurt a bit, man. That one put a damp in my plans, but it's no worries. I got backup players there, stashed on the bench, and I got a brand new starter out there. And I did pick up the backup in 49ers, so I got my ends covered.
all right.
Important, man. It's important.
TJ Watt also, he ripped his pec, and it's not looking good for the Pittsburgh Steelers, although they had a tremendous upset this weekend over the Bengals. TJ Watt is going to be out, which is very unfortunate because he's such a great presence on the defense for the Steelers.
Turning out like his brother. Injury
Just like his
prone ass motherfucker.
just like his brother. He's gonna play.
Just like his brother.
He's gonna come back, not even fully recovered. He's gonna play. He's gonna get hurt even more. All the reporters are gonna say how brave he is, how tough he is. He's gonna come back. He plays hurt, but you know what? He's gonna
Yeah.
miss probably most of the year and any crucial games, just like his brother.
He tore his pec. this man tweeted a Terminator gif. I'll be back. So he rejected surgery, right? So he's going a different route. So let's see how far that takes him, man. Whatever.
I'll probably
Another big,
he gets better.
another guy.
I'll tell you what, man. One injury that definitely hurt out there was the T. Higgins concussion. He's definitely going to be out. He's going to enter a concussion protocol. So that means Tyler Boyd is going to be stepping up to the plate. And for those who picked up Tyler Boyd, and especially in the later rounds, perhaps the sleeper rounds, that was a hell of a pickup. I know I have him in one of my leagues. Tyler Boyd is going to be the WR2 now in Cincinnati. So, that's good. But damn, man, that's a hell of a shocker for T. Higgins fans or owners, fantasy owners. I mean, that puts a damp in your plans.
Yeah, I have him in one of my leagues. But luckily I also have Jamar Chase. So I think his value will skyrocket with Higgins out. But now I might not start him this week if he's going to play hurt. I believe right now he's still questionable for week 2. And I think I don't think he should rush back. I think he should take a week off, maybe 2 weeks off, let Boyd get some volume as we noted. But now I'm even higher on Chase. I think Boyd's still going to get maybe some good targets, but I think Chase is still wide receiver 1, and that margin has spread even more between him and Boyd.
Well, shit, I was real high on Higgins, man. I was real upset that I didn't get him in none of my leagues this year. 3 drafts. And I had Higgins on my high on my list, missed out on him on all of them. But because I missed out on him, I was able to pick up Boyd in two. And now he's wide receiver two in a throwing in a passing offense, in a high passing offense. So, fantasy alert right there. Stock going up for Tyler Boyd. Higgins will be back, like can't rush concussions. It's early in the season. Why further damage him? So I agree with you. Out a week for sure, maybe two. Take your time because they're a long term team. They don't have to be right now. They're a long term team, and in a questionable division.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in a weaker division, and I think that you're correct. They are a long term team, and they want to keep him for runs for even years to come. Don't rush him out there week 2 in the early year. You're just 0-1. So they have time to figure it out. But moving along, I know we have a surprising loss week 1. Let's talk about that Broncos L that they took. Broncos Seahawks. It was the return of Russell Wilson back to his old stomping grounds. And did Geno Smith show up? Boy, did he did.
It's the Geno Smith era in Seattle, baby. The resurrection.
Let's ride. Let's ride.
Seattle Seahawks. Let's ride.
Broncos Nation. Let's kick it out 64 yards and miss it.
That's right.
It is truly unbelievable the coaching lapse that occurred in Denver this Monday. All right. And we were also like kind of pausing because we were, thinking about just recording the pod that same Monday night. But good thing that we didn't, because we would have missed this great L that the Denver Broncos had coming. Everybody was expecting the Denver Broncos to put a spanking on the Seattle Seahawks. And let's be real about that. But the fact of the matter is, it's not Russell Wilson's fault. It is a coaching collapse, man. Like, how do you got 5 yards to go, man. 5 yards. It would have been the same result as a failed kick, but at least you can go the distance with 5 yards, especially with a running quarterback too. Like, you know what I mean? Russ can scramble the ball when he wants to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they should have went for it there. But, let's not forget the Melvin Gordon fumble at the 1, too. That one changed the whole course of the game, and it just felt like the Seahawks, they just controlled the clock.
It killed their drive. All of that drive, all that momentum went away immediately. Right. But yeah, bro, I mean, you know what? You also got to blame the quarterback to some sense. Like, they're paying you all this money. You're an established leader, a winner. I think, Russ has the pedigree to go to his coach and be like, nah. Let's go for it. Let's change it. But he didn't. So, like a small blame on him, like I feel like, a guy of that caliber should like at least speak up, but he didn't. He went with with whatever coach said. And, that's what happens.
Right.
That's what happens. But let's not forget a big time injury, a big time loss. There was Jamal Adams. Again, proving to be a great player, but getting injured. He's out. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. Knee injury.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I know they had a lot of errors. The players, just like the coaches did. But one good thing that did happen is that Jerry Jeudy, balled out, guys. He put up his fantasy points up there. So that's something that's great for fantasy owners. They got good value out of him for week 1. And we all know he's a little iffy if he's not healthy. But in this case, he came through for Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? He's definitely a contributor on the team that did show up to work on Monday night. And it was unfortunate, man. I mean, I don't understand how you can go for a 60-something yard field goal when you only have 5 yards to go, guys. I mean, that doesn't sound like Russ is going to be calling shots out there. He didn't call a timeout when he had to. If some of you guys saw the broadcast, Peyton Manning was just freaking out on live TV. He's calling like 50 timeouts live on TV. He's basically calling the plays there, but you know what I mean? It's just damn, man.
Yeah, Peyton Manning looked like he was having a heart attack. He's used to his kickers, going for missing 45-yard field goals. So you can't imagine how he feels about a 64-yarder. However, Russell Wilson believes in Brandon McMahon, the kicker, because this guy has that range. He does have the range. However, on the 4th and 5, starting the year off, you wanna set the tone, and I can't believe they settled for a 64 yarder. Maybe if it was a 55, 50 yarder, you kick it, but
But
64
60.
yards, you might as well you. And not even that. The play before that, they wasted 30 seconds to settle for a 64 yarder. They had more than enough time to go for it, still keep driving. They could have even tried to get the touchdown, and they just completely had a mental lapse, as Jerry noted.
They push it out.
Yeah.
No way around it.
Yeah, another surprising factor of week one, and everybody was kind of nervous about this, but as we all saw, and congrats to you, my friend, the fanatic out here in Dade County, the Dolphins balled out week one, guys. What a game. What a performance by Tua and the Miami Dolphins under a brand new direction. And you guys even have a brand new head coach. I mean, it's a whole brand new regime. That game looked fantastic, man. And I'm not a Dolphins fan, even though I'm from the hometown, but man, what a fantastic performance out there, dude.
Listen. I love what the coach said. All right. It's the defense's team until the offense proves otherwise. They didn't prove it otherwise, in week one, but this is basically a great journey moving forward that's going to get better as time goes on. For the better part, Tua doesn't, fuck up, he doesn't make mistakes, so he did what we had to do to win. It almost could have been a 20-0 game. My best takeaway of this is the decline of the Patriots, bro. We had Belichick looking scared. We scored on a 4th and 7. A 4th and 7, bro. Ballsy. Coach got the balls. The whole offense was already walking to the sideline. Then coach said, turn around, we're going for it. And we're running this play. Bam. Yo, Tyreek changes everything. Oh my God, he changes everything, man.
I think the Patriots were a great punching bag to the start of the season. As we all know, those championship royal years are completely over out there. Brady left Belichick on an island by himself. And it's just not working out for them, man. So you better get to see hopefully the Pats become the new Jets out there, but the Jets are doing just as the same as they did last year, let's be real. But
not even worth our airtime.
I'm glad to see, man. I'm glad to see that it's working out so far. Hopefully this week 2 coming up, they get another W and they get a good start here early in the season, man. One thing
bro.
that was also surprising, man, that was another hands down, but I don't know what happened here, guys. Maybe you might want to help me decipher what went on here. The Bengals losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, by 3 points, by a little field goal.
It was a tough game. It's just one of those games where Mike Tomlin proves that he's just one of the best coaches in the league. This guy, even the years where Big Ben was hurt, or certain years where they probably didn't seem like a favorite to win, and the improbable happens. And let's take our hats off to Mike Tomlin. He is one of the better coaches in the NFL. Does have a Super Bowl. He has an incredible resume, and he bought the team black Air Forces. You do that. You went in there to win week one against a team that just went to the Super Bowl. And let's not say Super Bowl hangover because they didn't win, but they're a young team and they feel like they're going to be back there. And to just, smack them in the face week one and remind them that they're in the unpredictable NFL, it's any given Sunday. And the Steelers, they really showed a lot of grit. Najee Harris had a hell of a game. Mitch Trubisky did what he needed to do in order to get the W, and they made it happen, collectively as a unit. Obviously we spoke on TJ Watt getting hurt, but they still have a hell of a defense, Minkah Fitzpatrick and those boys. And, we know at the end of the day, they're going to compete as long as Mike Tomlin is the head coach.
Yeah, basically, it's that and Joe Shiesty throwing 4 picks. 4.
That's
4.
That's a shocker, man. For a week one performance, Joe Burrito, we all got some sort of favoritism with him, but damn, man, 4 picks in the first game of the season is not a good look. I want to give him some slack, guys. I want to give him some slack. He just got out of that appendix. He just got out of that appendix surgery, man. Maybe his core was compromised. He wasn't feeling too great, but he still went out there and did his job. But 4 picks, dude. 4 picks is very significant. Hopefully this does not continue because, the Bengals have a good team, dude. You know what I mean? Like they can go the distance and they could put up numbers. So hopefully this is just momentary. And the fact that T. Higgins also got hurt in the same game, it doesn't help them very much. But like I said, they have such a good depth chart right now that it might not even matter. But we'll see what happens, moving forward. So it's been a great, week one. I mean, I feel like I went through a theme park. Another impressive win was the Giants, man. The Giants did work. Your boy, what's up? BX in the building. What's going on with you?
Sir, yes, sir. We had a hell of
Peace.
a man. I love what Brian Daboll was doing. The play calling was on point. I love how, he put Daniel Jones in positions where he feels comfortable. The play actions were so crisp. The cameraman couldn't keep up. Um, the way he was just faking it to Saquon, everyone in that stadium believed that Saquon had the ball. And Daniel Jones just knew how to angle his body to hide the ball. He's a big kid. He knows how to hide the ball well. And it looks like they've been working on those techniques. And it looks like he's cleaning his act up a bit. We've known him as a turnover machine, not only with interceptions, but significantly with fumbles as well. So as long as they can cut that down, which is what the game plan was, a lot of play action, a lot of quarterback keeps, rollouts, and a hell of a lot of Saquon. It was amazing to watch. And then, of course, going for two at the end to just go for the win week one, turning the
Big boy.
page. It feels like a whole new regime is coming in for the New York Giants, and this is nothing like the Parcells years where it was more, order and it was more respect and a lot of old school grit and coaching. No, this one feels like it's fun. So it really felt good to enjoy a week one from what feels like a new Giants team.
Yeah, I
I
was
agree.
I was so glad to see Saquon come back into rhythm, man. It had me worried last year. It kind of looked like he was declining a bit, but maybe it was just a bad season. But he looked like his old self again. It looks like he's getting out of that funk. In fact, I think he might be carrying the uh the New York Giants offense a little bit further than Daniel Jones. So it's good to see it. It's good to see good energy out there in New York, man. It's good to see the Giants doing well. And I know we're rivals out here, but I have tremendous respect for the New York Giants.
And
The
one
only other team in the NFC East that's worthy of respect out here. Let's be real, Brady Killers, baby.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to note out. The Giants the young linemen. I just have to point out Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, the Alabama boys. They have been on fire as far as their
No.
rankings, and it looks like we have some pillars up front for Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley for years to come. Let's see what happens with Daniel Jones' contract situation, but it's looking good so far.
I wanted to touch base on what you said. Aside from those two players, who really got my attention, that linebacker. What's his name again? The one that what happened? Say it again?
Hey Crowder,
Bro, yes. Did you
yeah, he
see
lit up Henry.
he not only did he lit up Henry, right, but he evaded an all-pro left tackle in the game. One of the best left tackles in the game.
Taylor
Yo,
Lewan.
the move that he put on him to fake him out and then to roll and then to throw the force he did to Henry. Henry's no little kid. He bounced him.
Yo,
That shoulder drop.
because if you watch the play, Leonard Williams fell. And as he did that, Henry was gonna almost jump over him, and that's what made him so light on his feet, and he got popped.
He
That's
got
why
popped, bro.
now
That shoulder,
new Giant
that
team,
shoulder.
people that uniform, you got to respect it now. It's not the same old Giants. It's a different.
Yo, and you know that I love defense. I love defense, bro. Big shout out to our teams for that because we had an undrafted rookie, Cater Cater Kohu. Yo, this kid had the game winning force fumble, had two passes defended, three tackles for losses.
Wow.
Came in undrafted rookie. We put him in because Byron Jones, we have him on the pup list, so he's out for the first 4 weeks. Yo, that kid balled, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, like we're just scratching for help, at cornerback because we were rotating five cornerbacks that day, right aside, and five cornerbacks that day. So it was just cornerback by committee. Xavier Howard had that shit locked down, but this Cater Kohu kid. I had no yo, and then I found out after that, he got notoriety in NFL Good Morning. They calling him Darth Cater. Fire,
Oh,
fire name. They gave him that name in camp because he likes to pop at players. Like they're saying that he just strikes you out. And I saw that game, bro. Yo, like he had forced a fumble on Myers, 6'3" receiver. This man is little. This man's 5'8". He clocked him. 2 passes defended, 3 tackles for losses. This is a cornerback.
nice, nice, nice. That's good pickup. Nice young guy you guys got there, man. It's always great to have a corner that's physical. Not all corners like to tackle. Let's just put that out there. Let's call it what it is. But
Yeah, so that's a great recap for week one. And moving forward, we're gonna go ahead and go over our week one picks, guys. Let's see how we
Uh,
did. Let's see how we done. Okay, so for me, guys, I went 10-5-1. And that one, let's talk about that one, that pesky little one, right? It's really annoying, and people hate having ties in their record. And unfortunately, we had a tie this weekend in overtime. All right. It's unfortunate. Indianapolis and the Houston Texans ended up in a damn tie, guys. They're within the same division. In fact, nobody in that division won a single game on Sunday, which is another bizarre turn of events that we see here now in the start of the NFL season. But man, what a pesky game. We were all expecting the Colts, all three of us. We all picked the Colts to win this game. And Matt Ryan couldn't get it done, man. What's going on here?
I think it came down to the Texans. I think the Texans had this game in the bag, and they were up by 16 late. Just gave up 2 touchdowns and 2 conversions, and they just fumbled the win. This is a young team that doesn't really know how to secure games yet on offense or defense. The points they get on offense are always a plus, and they squandered the lead over to a Matt Ryan who's maybe he found himself a little, going in the second half along with the rest of that team. We know Michael Pittman had a great game. Well, maybe not great, but he had an average. He had a good game for himself. And when it comes down to it, the Texans just fumbled the game. They had it in the bag, and the Colts came back. It's better than a loss, but it's definitely not a win. But for that division, it might be all right that time.
What was your record for week one, X?
I was 11-4-1, I believe.
Not bad,
yes.
not bad.
Shit, man. At this point, you might as well not even listen to me, fellas. Shit,
Yeah,
I was 8-6-1.
yeah,
Well, it's only
no,
week one. It's still kind of early.
yeah, it was
Eight,
kind of early.
six, and one. It's not looking. It was not looking bright. So whatever. Let's see. Let's see how the season goes. Let's see how everything accumulates up. What's up with
Yeah.
with the week two picks?
One thing I gotta bring up, and I gotta bring it up, is that somehow Detroit ended up catching up to Philly this weekend. Philly was dominating. I want to say 90% of that game, and somehow towards the end of the game, Philly managed to allow them to score 35 points on them. So hopefully they
35.
can get better with their defense. It seemed like they started off strong, but sometimes, towards the end, the Lions kicked it up a bit, man. So we might see a pulse from Detroit, sometime this year. They might win quite a few games. I'm picking them to be an underdog this year. They're gonna surprise a lot of people with the amount of wins. I don't think they're gonna go to the playoffs by any means, especially now that I'm hearing DeAndre Swift might have an injury. So it all begins. They might have a decent team, but that's good because at least the wide receivers are going to be getting the catches. So fantasy points, you guys already know. We had another overtime loss. Where, of course, I mentioned earlier the Cincinnati Bengals and Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost by a field goal in overtime. So that was also a big shocker out here. The Vegas game, what a hell of a game that was. Justin Herbert ended up coming through for Los Angeles, but Vegas, they got it popping with Devontae Adams, man. That was very exciting to see.
Yeah, that was cool to see.
Yeah.
I think Herbert at the end, like the Chargers, they just find a way to leave teams hanging around. Even last year, even with the Raiders, like stop letting them hang around. Like go score. Like go score another. Like you're scoring all game, and then in the second half, it's like they slow down and they just stop caring. Like the Raiders could have easily came back and won. Like, I'm not worried about this Raiders team. They're led by Derek Carr, and I kind of believe in him a little more. He is an average quarterback, but when it comes down to it, he's a leader. He's a hell of a leader. He could be a top 5, top 7 leader in the NFL. Maybe not talent wise, he's up there, but as far as will, he reminds me of maybe with a little more talent, presence wise, he's like a Ryan Fitzpatrick almost. He just gets the guys fired up. Now he got his boy in Devontae, and I'm not worried about this one Raiders loss. They'll be back. They'll be back.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you hit it right in the nail. Like, yo, this is a defense that has Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Like,
Right.
they should be, like stellar. And it looks like, like they let up a bit. So let's see how this plays out. Remember, there was a lot of division games in week one, a lot of division games. And so let's see if that goes, if that comes back to, how the Raiders down the road.
Right.
Yeah, one upset that I gotta mention was the Browns over the Carolina Panthers. Everybody was expecting Baker to get his revenge, and boy, were we wrong about that. The Browns managed to pull off the upset by 2 points. All right, 2 points, and they got the W fair and square with Jacoby Brissett. So shout outs to the Browns. Maybe there's a possibility their season can get salvaged with this Deshaun Watson suspension. But they managed to get the W, man. And I know Baker was highly upset. But McCaffrey, did McCaffrey do any good this weekend? There's a lot of superstars, man, that just didn't come through fantasy wise. They didn't put up the caliber of points that a lot of us expected. So it ended up being a very surprising week one. And I have a feeling this entire NFL season, and especially the fantasy season, is going to turn out to be very bizarre. So I think you guys should stay tuned to what occurs now moving forward.
Yeah, I think McCaffrey had a decent game. He didn't go off, but I know he had around 15 points, depending, how the league set up. I do know the Panthers, that was probably the game of the week. So, it doesn't really come that game's not gonna affect anyone later. Both teams are gonna miss the playoffs, in my opinion. It doesn't really matter. Baker's Baker. I thought he was gonna win. He lost. Oh well, he's not good. So, moving forward, I don't know what they're going to do, but I don't think he's the long-term answer. Clearly not.
Bones, how'd you do in your results picks?
8-6-1.
Oh man. So we'll see moving forward. We'll see how we get our new picks coming up. So very exciting stuff. We're about to get into our week 2 picks. I want to kick it off. Los Angeles Chargers, Kansas City Chiefs. I got Kansas City, baby.
I have the Chargers. I have a little upset there. I think the defense that Patrick Mahomes and that line is going to face is way better than what he faced against in Arizona. So, Chargers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say the Chargers as well. I think they really improved their defense. I think they have a lot to prove. They don't want to be that little brother in the division anymore. They're gonna want to take it for themselves. I think the future is bright out there in Los Angeles. We all know with the addition of Khalil Mack, they still have Joey Bosa. Of course, we know they have Hillary. They have Asante Samuel Jr. They have Derwin James Jr. That defense is completely stacked from top to bottom.
J.C. Jackson.
Right, and J.C. Jackson. And that's what separates this team, from the Chiefs, because we all know Patrick Mahomes got paid. He's due that money as he deserves. However, it takes away from the rest of the team. And the Chargers have that young quarterback, and it just allows you to just get so much. And that's how they can afford a Khalil Mack and a Joey Bosa and all these guys we named, because they're really taking that next step into excellence. And I think they're gonna come out this week as a winner.
Listen. Patty Mahomes put up 44 points in my fantasy league this last week, which means if they don't have a way to get the ball to their receivers, he will find the points to get it through your fantasy. So I'm going with Kansas City. Next one up, the Browns and the Jets.
Browns.
Oh man, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say the Browns as well. I think Jacoby Brissett could get it done again with some Kareem Hunt. He had a hell of a week one. I think they're going to just keep grounding and pounding the ball. The Jets are not going to stop it.
Same here,
Chubb
man. I
and
just truly believe that aside from their quarterback situation, Cleveland has just the better team to offer here. So I'm gonna go with the Browns as well, the Commanders and Lions.
I'm going to go on and say the Commanders because I'm just going to pick everyone that the Lions play against. So I'm just going to say the Commanders, and just because I have nothing else to say about the Lions. I've said it already.
Actually, I was impressed by the Lions putting up 31 points on a stout Philly defense. So they're playing at home. They're playing at home. Washington's on the road, so I'm gonna go and pick the Lions.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Lions as well because I like what I saw towards the end of that Eagles game. I think they got some life and fight left in that team. Carson Wentz seemed to struggle a bit, in Washington. They still got the W. I don't want to discredit them, but I'm gonna go with Detroit in this one. I like what I saw this weekend against the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think they can keep it up going into week 2 with Washington, and they can perhaps get their first W. Moving on to the next one. I'm gonna go back to back with Tom Brady and the Bucks, baby, over the New Orleans Saints.
Ooh, no, I disagree with you there, buddy. It's on the road, and New Orleans is good defensively, so I'm gonna go with the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints as well. I'm going to say Cam Jordan is just the anchor of that team, along with Marshawn Lattimore. And I think they're going to have the right formula to shut down Brady. And I think Jameis is going to put up some points, baby. Let's go, Jameis, man. We all know Jameis is that boy. Now he got some tools. He got some Mike Thomas, some Kamara, got Chris Olave. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, man. I'm that line broken, right? They're missing how many starters on that line? Two starters. Yeah, the Bucks. Yeah, bro. That line is the offensive line is maligned, and they played a joke of a team in the Cowboys, and the Saints ain't no joke. So yeah, Saints.
Listen, we just saw the Bucks take out Dak and the entire Cowboys organization. Brady just returned the favor with a bunch of touchdowns. Let's move forward, guys. Carolina and the Giants. I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know what, Baker, I'm sorry about this, buddy, but it looks like you're gonna go 0-2 to start the season. I got my money on the Giants. I think they're just gonna pulverize them. We're gonna see a lot more from Saquon Barkley.
G-Man.
It's gonna be a lot of grounding.
Easy.
It's gonna be a lot of pounding. It's gonna be a lot of Saquon. It's gonna be a lot of play action. Maybe Sterling Shepard catches a bomb. Maybe they get the rookie Wan'Dale Robinson involved. I think this could be a coming out game for Galladay. Surprisingly, he's that physical receiver, and maybe they try to get him some end zone looks. Take some deep shots if they're running it early and well. I think they'll be able to take some shots.
All right, next one up, New England and Pittsburgh. I'm going to go out on a limb and just go ahead and pick the Pats. I think they're going to get their first win of the season just because everything is very shaky. I think Najee Harris might have an injury here in Pittsburgh. He might not be 100%. So for that reason, I'm going to go with the Pats.
No, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh. It's at Pittsburgh, so I'm gonna give the edge to the Steelers. The Patriots, Mac Jones with his back injury now. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh as well. I think they're gonna have some a little bit of issues with Najee Harris, but I see them throwing the ball well in this one. Maybe Mitchell Trubisky can have a Geno Smith like game for week 2.
Don't you dare compare him to the MVP of the league.
We can see if Mitchell can spread the ball out to some Deontay Johnson. As we know, they have some nice rookie targets or younger targets. Of course, they have Pickens and they have Claypool as well, and of course Pat Fryer. I still think they have some weapons, and I think Pittsburgh could get it done. I'll take them week 2.
Next one up is Indianapolis and Jacksonville. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Colts just because I know they're going to bounce back from that horrible tie. Jacksonville, I haven't seen anything improve really out there, and I wish them the best, but the Colts got this.
I'm going to go with you, brother. I see a lot of Jonathan Taylor going down this game, and it's just going to be a little bit too much for Jackson to overcome. Colts on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Colts as well. I know they have some injuries that they're dealing with. I know Michael Pittman's dealing with a quad. I know the DeForest Buckner might not play right away, but if they can get everyone else in tune, I'll take the Colts. We know Shaquille Leonard was out last week. That was a big deal. They ended up in a tie in that game with the Texans. But I think this game coming up, I think they might get it done. They're going to capitalize. I'll take the Colts week 2 against the Jags.
Next one up, Baltimore and Miami. Who you got, Bones?
The Dolphins, baby. Everybody's falling in love. No one cares. The Ravens, it's Jackson. It's done. That's it. Okay, they're not that. They're no longer that defensive team anymore. And they lost 2 starters. They lost to Juan James, their tackle, and they lost their starting cornerback. So that's a railing team. And even though it's at Baltimore, people forget that last year when we played them down here in Miami on Thursday night, we lit Lamar Jackson up. And I know we still haunt him in his nightmares, bro. That zero cover defense had him looking like a high school quarterback. I'm
Yeah.
I'm calling the repeating out in Baltimore again.
Okay, we'll see what happens. I'm going to take Baltimore in that one. I just think Lamar is just he's too dangerous. I think he's going to get free and often. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. It's going to be a lot of Kenyon Drake. He looked well week 1 with the Ravens. Let's not say he needs 100 yards to do well, because we all know with Lamar Jackson and they have a running back committee, everyone is going to get the ball there. But as long as Drake can play that role until one of these other guys come back, we know J.K. Dobbins is hurt. We know Gus Edwards is hurt. But until one of these guys come back, I think Lamar is going to just control the team on his back. He's going to ride him out, and I think Drake could have a decent game against his former team.
This one was very tough for me to pick, and I think it's going to be a very tight one. But I got to agree with X, and I'm going to go ahead and pick the Baltimore Ravens just because I know that Lamar can throw it and run it. So it doesn't even matter that they don't have a running back. We know that Lamar can run it, especially now that he gained a bunch of weight. He's like at 230 now. All right. He's not, a walking stick anymore. Okay. And he's not a little guy by any means. I like what they have with Rashard Bateman. I like what they have with Duvernay. I like Mark Andrews. So he can definitely have his wings out there. And if it gets tough, he's going to run it. But I do believe it's going to come down to the wire. It's going to be in Baltimore. But ultimately, I'd see Baltimore getting the W. Next one up is Atlanta and the Rams.
This was an easy one for me. I'm going to take the Rams. I think they're going to get the ball to Darrell Henderson early and often. I think Matthew Stafford bounces back off that champagne liquor off the champagne they were drinking from week 1, and I think they end up being 1-1 at the end of this week. I think the Rams got it. I like Atlanta. I think they could put up a fight with London Drake and Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts shows up this week, but I'm just going to take the Rams week 1, edging them out.
Yeah, it's pretty simple for me. It's the Rams. Let's go. Reigning champs.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Rams as well. I believe they have an overall better team. Even though Cam Akers laid an egg this weekend, and I don't appreciate that. He just upset a ton of fantasy owners. He is very well the biggest bust of 2022. Whoever drafted him is now regretting their life. All right. So Cam Akers, dude, he laid an egg.
That was week 1. Live him a break.
It does not matter, bro. We don't see it. I see Darrell Henderson taking over the duties in that team. Okay, I firmly stand by it. Cam Akers will be the biggest bust of 2022.
Week 1,
Darrell Henderson on your team, because he's going to end up getting better receptions, not even better rushes. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick Los Angeles just because I don't think Atlanta has jack squat. All right, so that's gonna be a hands down. Moving forward, Seattle and the Niners.
Ooh, I'm gonna go out on a limb out here, and I'm gonna go with the MVP, baby. Gino got it going on right now, man. Seattle on a high. Where they playing at? Let me see. They're playing at San Fran. San Fran right now is reeling with injuries. I'm gonna go on the limb. And I'm gonna go say it, and I'm gonna say Seattle.
No, I think the heavy favorites on this one are the San Fran Niners. I'm going to take the Niners on this one, not just because they're favorites, but just because they're a better team at running the ball. We know the Broncos, they were running the ball well, but then they just kept turning it over in crucial situations. And I think the Niners will capitalize on that. Maybe they make Trey Lance look better as they get him out the pocket and get him involved as well. And I think Geno Smith comes down to earth. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with San Francisco again, man. I know that they're having a few small issues at running back, but I still believe that they're gonna bounce back in week 2. I'm not saying that Geno Smith is a fluke. I don't want to believe that it is. But it's just very uncertain. It's very uncertain to go with Seattle right now. He might have a bad week coming up. He might have a good week. It's very hard to tell. They try to write him off, but he ain't right back, as you guys heard. Cincinnati and Dallas. I got my money on Cincinnati. Burrito will bounce back. You hear me?
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals as well. I think we're all going to pick them for obvious reasons. Dak is out, and the Cowboys, they just don't look good this year. They're down receivers. They're out James Washington, Michael Gallup, Tolbert didn't play, and they're depleted already, and it's only week 2. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
And then, moving on to the next one, we saw this man spinning in the middle of a field like a rotisserie chicken. Can Russell Wilson bounce back against the Houston Texans?
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say Broncos country. That's right.
Broncos country. That's right.
Broncos country. That's right. All right, Arizona and Vegas.
Where they playing at? They're playing at Vegas.
I'm going to take Vegas. Yeah, I'll take Vegas on this.
I'm going to take Vegas on this one too.
Vegas. Since we personally went to Allegiant Stadium out here, and my West Coast team is Vegas, Las Vegas Raiders. I'm gonna go and head and pick the Las Vegas Raiders. Baby, they're gonna get the W. I see Kyler Murray struggling out here, son.
Yeah, I think this could be a game of the week. It could be a high-powered game. I'm looking at it in that sense, and fantasy-wise, if you're gonna make stats, this is a team that you're gonna want to take maybe a car along with a Devontae, or then maybe sprinkle in some Renfro in different lineups, or maybe some Waller, because this could be a great game where they go back and forth, and I think Hollywood Brown could have a breakout game in this one.
Yeah, I completely agree with you here. We also got Chicago and Green Bay.
I'm gonna give it to Chicago's daddy, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
he legit went to their field, dog, and he said, "I still fucking own you. I still own you." His record, I think Rodgers' record with the Bears is like Brady's record versus the Bills. I think Brady lost to the Bills like once or twice in his 20-year career in the AFC East. That's some retarded stat. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Rodgers.
He's 22-5 against the Bears, and I don't see.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's gonna make that 23-5. Next question.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'm gonna go ahead and pick Chicago. I think Chicago is gonna come through with the upset. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has anything, and I mean anything, in that Packers roster. The line isn't good. The receivers ain't good. I'm going to go ahead and pick Chicago with the upset. Not that I think Chicago is any better, but I just think that they can pull it off, guys, especially what I saw after this weekend. We're going to go ahead and do the blockbuster Monday night matchups, all right? We got Tennessee and Buffalo.
I hate Buffalo. I hate them. And you know why? And you know who hates them too? Henry. Henry owns the Bills too. Every single time the Titans and the Bills play, Henry dominates them. So I'm gonna go with history, and I'm gonna go Tennessee.
Oh, upset. Okay. I'm gonna go with the favorite. I'm gonna just go with Buffalo. I think Josh Allen's gonna be the MVP. I think they're pissed off from last year, and I don't want to go crazy, but I think they're gonna have a great year. If anybody's gonna be the best team in the league, I'll put my money on Buffalo. I don't think they're going to be a threat for anyone to beat, because they just toyed with the champs right now. So what are they going to do against Chicago? Are you kidding me? They're going to kill them.
Yeah, Buffalo, let's be real here. Buffalo has an awesome defense and have an amazing offense. I'm with you on the Josh Allen, MVP candidacy. And so, like I said, if it becomes a high scoring game, it might be because of Derrick Henry. But Tennessee doesn't have a single thing out there. Buffalo Bills or nothing. And then our next matchup and final matchup of the night would be Minnesota and Philadelphia at Philly, baby.
So I say Philadelphia, man. I'll say Philadelphia just because of the threat that Hurts presents over Kirk Cousins. But the matchup is you guys have Slay, right? You guys have Darius Slay?
Yeah, that's
All
right.
right. That's right. So that's the matchup. Jefferson and Slay. That's the game. That's the game. That's what it comes down to. Truly.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, Eagles fanatic. As you see, I'm all geared out here. As you can see, Philly's in the house. In Philly, this is gonna be explosive because we are debuting AJ Brown out there. It's a little bit early for Dia de los Muertos, but check my Eagles skull out. All right, we got this, baby. We got this. 2-0 to start the season. Jalen Hurts is gonna ball out harder than he did game one. And I'm very excited to see this, guys. Let's do it.
Should be interesting. Should be interesting. I'm taking the Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles at home. I think it's going to be a Hurts coming out party. I think he's going to have a great campaign this year, and I think this is going to be another game where he just, proves that he's becoming different.
Yeah, it should be very exciting week 2, guys. We got a lot of things to unpack. We did a pretty good weekend in betting as well, guys. So we got some pretty decent payouts out here. X, how'd you do out there?
Sir, I had a great weekend. We was up. If you were checking the channels, we're up 14 units on Sunday alone. We lost 4 on college football on Saturday, and we made it right back on Sunday. I know all the bets pay out differently. However, if you bet by units, it doesn't matter if you're playing for $1 per unit or $10 per unit. Just keep an eye on it, and you're gonna be coming out, on the better end of these bets if you're paying attention, if you're betting safely, betting properly, responsibly. And if you're keeping track of your units and if you're keeping track of the chat, you can tell that we're up. And we're paying for these lineups. It's not like they're free. These are premium lineups that we're putting out here, and we just want everyone to eat.
Thanks.
Yeah, so that pretty much wraps up our 10th episode here, guys. We look forward to linking up with you for week 3, and good luck to everybody this weekend, especially in the fantasy lineups. I am your host, Jericho, along with my co-host, X and Santana. Drop a comment, hit the subscribe button, engage with us at Raw Fantasy Sports on IG. See you next time, guys.